So you described to us a three-step methodology of how you approach a scene. And I'd like you to talk about what you do with situations and what your methodology is.
So I've been doing CIT for almost going on 13 years now. I was one of the creators of our crisis intervention team at Sunnyvale Department of Public Safety, and I teach officers in the county at the same course that Ann and Ashley teach at, although we don't get to see each other because we're on different days.
Yeah.
I'm one of the first people that talk to officers. And what I tell officers is our job is very simple when we're going to a situation where somebody is in a crisis or we don't know what's going on. And this goes to what I talked about earlier. The first thing I tell officers they need to do is I use the word de-escalate. They need to de-escalate the situation. They need to calm down the situation. Okay? Need to calm things down. Once they calm things down, then they need to stabilize that situation. In other words, they need to keep it the way it is. Don't let it get any worse. If it gets better, that's great. Don't let it get any worse. Keep it the way it is. Keep it, you brought it down, it's calm now, keep it there. The last thing officers should be doing is get resources there. Those resources are family, caretakers, people from San Andreas Center, wherever they may be. We, as police officers, are not clinicians. We're not trained to be psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, or counselors. Some of us have that training because that's just where we are, but that's not what we do. And I don't expect officers to do that, and I tell them that. That's not your job. Your job is to calm the situation down, keep it calm, get the resources there. If you do that, you've done your job as a police officer. Because the best thing we want to do is we want to get you the help you need. And that's not necessarily us as police officers, that's somebody else that's familiar with you or that can help you.
So most of the time that our folks encounter officers of the law is either because they're a victim or because it's a misunderstanding. But Ashley, let me ask you this. Are there ever times where our folks actually are committing crimes and get arrested?
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
Do you want to talk about any situations that you have heard of that people have actually been arrested?
I don't think I have, really.
So I know that we do have some folks who have gotten in with a group of folks and maybe gotten talked into maybe breaking into someone's house or taking something that didn't belong to them. In those cases, can you be arrested? Absolutely. You will be arrested if you break the law. And Sean, I'm going to ask you to kind of address that. Like, what's going to happen? What does it feel like for someone? What is it like for the officer as well to actually be arrested?
Well, I will tell you this, if we arrest somebody and they've done something wrong, it feels pretty good. Because we've taken somebody off the street that's harmed somebody or done something wrong. But that may not be you. You may have done something because someone got you to do something because they took advantage of you. But we don't know that. So when we arrest somebody, we want to make sure first off, we're not violating their rights. We're not using excessive force to arrest them. And that we notify them while they're being arrested. Those are three things we have to do as police officers in the state of California. I cannot violate your rights as a human being. I can't use excessive force to arrest you. In other words, I can't beat you up, I can't do something unless it's defense of myself. And the third thing is, I have to tell you that you're being arrested and why you're being arrested. I have to tell you that. But when you're being arrested, that means you're going to get handcuffs on. That's not fun. They're uncomfortable. How do I know this? It's because when I train, I get handcuffed all the time. I get taken down to the ground. It happens in training to me all the time, so I know how it feels. It's not fun. And then be put back in a police car and basically you're in a cage, that's not fun at all. And it only heightens any anxiety you may already have. The hope is we don't have to make an arrest.
And Sean, are there situations where you might have to handcuff someone even though they're not being arrested?
Yes. So if somebody is being a danger to themselves, or they're a danger to others, or they're a danger to that police officer, we may handcuff them to better control them so they can't harm themselves or others. It doesn't mean you're under arrest, and we have to tell you you're not under arrest, but we have to at least explain to you, here's why you're being handcuffed. You may not understand that, and I get that, But if we're handcuffing you, it's probably because we're sensing there's a danger, either to yourself or to somebody else, and we don't want any more harm to come to you or to anybody else.
But I know with all the commotion that some of you may feel that way, the anxiety issue, but it's, it's for your safety.
And it's easily said. I can tell you it's for your safety, but when that's happening to you, you're not going to be thinking that. You're going to be thinking, I'm being handcuffed. This hurts. It's uncomfortable. I don't like this. And I get that.
So the situations that would get you into that is either having committed a crime or saying, I'm going to hurt myself, I'm going to do something to myself, or I'm going to do something to someone else, threatening someone else. So be very careful of the words that you use when you're encountering an officer. If you threaten, you're probably going to end up in handcuffs.
Right, and I want to clarify, just because you committed a crime doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be arrested right then and there or handcuffed. The only time you're handcuffed, really two times you're being handcuffed is because one, you are being arrested, so we're going to take you to our headquarters or we're going to take you to some facility, or it's because we need to control you better because you're a danger or you're a threat to yourself or to somebody. There's really the only times you're going to be handcuffed. You should be, okay? You could be handcuffed and handcuffs could be taken off of you once things calm down. Because let's say you're involved in a situation with a bunch of things going on, we may come there and handcuff everybody that's there because depending upon the circumstances, it may be too dangerous, so we're going to handcuff everybody and then we're going to sort things out. And then we may take handcuffs off of people as we know what's going on.
So if you're in a situation where something happens and you do end up handcuffed, does it mean that you're going to take that person away or that they're actually under arrest all the time?
Not necessarily, no.
So it's possible to be handcuffed and still not be arrested or still not be taken away from the scene. What are some other options you have besides arresting someone?
Well, we could issue a citation. We may write up a police report and we may submit it to the district attorney. We'll ask the district attorney to review the report and they may say, yes, this person committed a crime or no, they did not. If the district attorney says, yes, they did commit a crime, then they may issue a warrant for their arrest. So those are situations where, we could handle it. What we try to do really is if we don't have to take somebody to jail or we don't have to handcuff somebody, that's the best alternative, obviously. But sometimes we do. But if I can release somebody on a citation so I don't have to take them to jail, I may just do that because it's easier for me and it's easier for them. But depending upon what happened, if you did a crime that was bad, you're probably going to have to be taken to jail, at least initially, and then after that, it's out of our hands.
The officer is trying to do 3 things during a crisis: de-escalate the tension and get everyone to calm down, maintain that calm once they've established it, and then get the needed resources to the scene. If you break the law, you can be arrested. If an officer arrests someone, they must first avoid violating their civil rights, avoid any excessive force, and tell the person why they are being arrested. Handcuffs are common procedure for arrest. If someone may be dangerous to themselves or others, they may be handcuffed even if they're not being arrested. Officers may write citations or submit reports instead of arresting someone.